Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, starts with a weather impact alert.
Now at 6, more snow is on the way. You can see the cold, wet weather on our radar making its way to Connecticut, and that's why we are in a weather impact alert tonight. Good evening, and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Bjorlo. The chill is sticking around, and we're expecting some wind to go along with those snowflakes.
Yeah, let's send it right over to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank with what we can expect. Rach?
Yeah, and I do think that our opinion of this storm is going to depend on where you live. The highest impact will be in the hills, the lowest impact along the shoreline and southeastern Connecticut, where this will mostly be a rain event. But right now we have a few flakes that may be flying in Litchfield County. It's tough to say because we do have some dry air between the clouds and the ground, so some of that might be evaporating before it reaches the ground. It'll be kind of off and on starting now and continuing into tomorrow morning. So we just wanted to give you this heads up that there could be slippery spots overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Also, some school delays are possible, especially in the higher elevations, but other areas inland may see a few as well. So check in with the morning show crew. In addition, we have that wind advisory in effect all day tomorrow with gusts over 40 miles an hour possible. Most of the state is above freezing, which is why we're anticipating some rain initially at first. But look at that, 32 in Torrington. So we'll see rain and snow develop as we head through the coming hours, noticing it's kind of the I-84 corridor that's that dividing line with mainly rain south and east. But overnight, we'll bring in some cooler temperatures that will allow more areas inland to switch over to snow. The steadier stuff is gone by around 7 to 9 a.m., but we could see a lingering scattered snow shower into the afternoons. We're going to talk more about accumulations and the cold that follows. Your full forecast coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. We have some breaking news tonight out of Windham County. Willimantic and state police are investigating after a car was stolen with a child inside. We are working to find out more details. We have a crew headed there right now. Well, 2 teenage boys, 16 and 17 years old, were shot and killed in New Haven less than 2 weeks apart.
And tonight, investigators, the school district, and city leaders are speaking out against the recent string of violence. Take a listen.
How many times does this have to keep happening? How many kids have to die? That's not normal.
And police say they were friends and believe that the two shootings are connected. Fox 61's Julie LeBlanc has the very latest.
Police have now identified the 17-year-old New Haven boy shot and killed in the city as Daley Jackson. We are hearing from a witness who says she saw what happened, and we're also hearing from police who say they're trying to stop this same thing from happening to someone else.
It was traumatic for everybody.
Samaya Sheikh is new to this neighborhood. She's trying to wrap her head around what she saw and heard Tuesday night, just across the street from her home on Shelton Ave.
And we heard the shots. Immediately, we just fell to the ground, just trying to avoid getting shot or, a misfire.
Sheikh was studying in her upstairs bedroom with a friend just before 7 p.m. When she looked outside, she saw her neighbor next to a wounded teenager lying in her driveway, trying to save his life.
He could have easily just been on this side. Could have easily just been shot right here, just right in front of me. It was terrifying.
New Haven police say 17-year-old Daley Jackson was walking outside close to his house when a stolen car drove by. They say someone got out, shot him, and drove away. Police have found that car.
This is a first. We've never been in a space where we have lost 2 young lives in less than 2 weeks.
Jackson's death comes less than 2 weeks after police say his friend, 16-year-old Uzziah Shell, was shot and killed while walking on Gough Street. The two were both enrolled at Riverside Academy and both involved in youth programs meant to keep kids off the streets. Police say the boys were known to be in an ongoing feud with other groups in the city.
The shootings of both these young men do not appear to be random, and we have reason to believe that they were targeted by members of those groups.
Now, police and city leaders are getting in touch with people who are associated with the boys and trying to keep them safe. They've even moved one family out of the area for now and plan to do the same with 2 more.
The minute they leave our doors, something is happening where they're getting caught up in the nonsense that is happening in our streets.
It's like, how many times does this have to keep happening? How many kids have to die? That's not normal.
Now, police say they are working hard to make arrests in both of these cases, but they need your help to do so. So if you know anything, you're asked to please reach out. In the meantime, the school district has brought in a crisis response team to help students and staff through this difficult time. We are in New Haven. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Julia, thank you. Leaders of Connecticut's vibrant insurance sector have been on edge and in mourning because this morning UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson was shot and killed. The shooter and motive still unknown.
Fox 61's Matt Caron has the very latest on this developing story and the reaction from our state's insurance sector. Matt.
Well, if you look over my shoulder, off in the distance, you may be able to see the UnitedHealthcare sign on the very tall building. Although UnitedHealthcare's corporate headquarters is in Minnesota, they do have a satellite campus right here in Hartford. A manhunt is underway just across the Connecticut state line for a gunman who executed a high-powered insurance CEO.
Mr. Thompson is the CEO of UnitedHealthcare.
Brian Thompson was 50 years old and had a net worth of $43 million.
It does appear that the victim was specifically targeted, but at this point we do not know why. This does not appear to be a random act of violence.
Thompson was on his way to UnitedHealthcare's investor conference when he was gunned down outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan early Wednesday.
The shooter steps onto the sidewalk from behind the car. He ignores numerous other pedestrians, approaches the victim from behind, and shoots him in the back. The shooter then walks toward the victim and continues to shoot. It appears that the gun malfunctions as he clears the jam and begins to fire again.
UnitedHealthcare is headquartered in Minnesota, but the company's name graces the Hartford skyline on the city's tallest 38-story building. The city has earned the nickname the insurance capital of the world. Eric George is the president of the Insurance Association of Connecticut.
I thought of his family, I thought of his friends, and our heartfelt condolences and sympathy that would go out to them. I can't imagine something as tragic as losing a loved one in such a violent manner.
Fox 61 reached out to our state's most prominent insurance providers. Anthem got back to us. The CEO of their parent company, Elevance Health, said leadership in healthcare is marked by dedication, compassion, and a profound commitment to improving lives. And Brian embodied those qualities and more. While Amica Insurance said, we were saddened to learn of the tragic death, the Amica team sends its thoughts and prayers to his family, friends, and colleagues. Over the years, the insurance industry integrated itself into Connecticut's vibrant social, economic, and political fabric. The industry now employs more than 63,500 workers.
It's a very sad situation, and we join the chorus of folks who are extending their sympathy to the family and friends of Mr. Thompson.
The motive of the killing remains unclear, but large insurance conglomerates haven't been without scrutiny. And UnitedHealthcare has the largest claim denial rate of any company at 32%. The shooter is described as a man who at the time was wearing a very distinctive gray backpack. He originally fled on foot, but was last seen riding a New York City electric bike as he disappeared into Central Park. The manhunt is ongoing. We'll bring you any updates. Reporting in Hartford on the Sky Deck, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Matt, thank you. Well, tonight, healthcare workers and Connecticut's tenant union released a statement describing health issues faced by tenants who lost their homes to a fire at the Concord Hills apartment complex.
They're calling out the management, Gray Hill, and the city of Hartford. It's been 5 months now since a fire happened at that location. People impacted have been staying in temporary housing, which will run out in less than 30 days from now. Tenants say they're now facing depression, extreme anxiety, and high blood pressure as well. In a letter co-authored by over 10 healthcare workers, they say the tenants have endured worsening physical and psychological health conditions, a direct result of losing their belongings, the trauma they experienced, and the current living conditions.
All parties interviewed expressed very high levels of anxiety, depression, hopelessness, and despair, which have increased as their housing deadline draws closer. Most interviewees expressed that previous to their displacement, their mental health was substantially better. This depression and anxiety was accompanied by the physical symptoms of this condition, which include severe sleep and appetite disturbances, inability to focus leading to distress at work, school, and in personal relationships, nightmares, heart palpitations.
Healthcare workers say the issues that were just stated will continue to worsen until Gray Hill fixes up the damaged units. Turning out to some sports news, the Yukon men's basketball team needs a major rebound tonight, and it comes at a time when they're hanging on to their ranking in the AP Top 25. The Huskies host number 15 Baylor at Gamble Pavilion tonight, and Fox 61 sports director Jonah Karp has a preview of this must-win game for Yukon.
All right, so Yukon men's basketball isn't at full strength right now. Alex Karaban will miss his second straight game as he continues to work through a head injury. So Alex won't suit up tonight against Baylor. That means potentially more minutes for younger players, potentially more minutes for newer players, which isn't a bad thing in terms of their development, but this could be a pivotal juncture of the Husky season, as Yukon already has 3 losses on the year, and they're staring at 3 pretty challenging non-conference games ahead of the Big East slate.
Yeah, I just don't even think we could think just too big picture, just based on, kind of how our past seasons have gone. If we start, trying to figure out where we're going to be 10 days from now, that I think is would be just a bad direction. I think for us, because we got a lot of young guys and a lot of new guys, and because we're coming off such a tough week, I think our focus is just like put the blinders on, turn off the external noise, and just keep getting better. I think the group has got great potential, but we are relying. We're a team that's probably going to probably improve more than a lot of other teams that are really, really old. I think I got to give the players grace, and I got to try to instill confidence in them, and I can't coach them frustrated, and we can't coach them frustrated or disappointed, because it's a group that's going to get better.
It's a 6:30 tip time tonight for Dan Hurley and company. Should be a packed crowd inside Gamble Pavilion to welcome the number 15 team in the country. It's Yukon versus Baylor, and we'll have more on the game coming your way later this evening. In stores, Jonah Karp, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.